Hello, Fort Mill High School. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Mr. Young, your career development facilitator. And today we have one of my good friends, Miss Jenkins, who's going to talk to us a little bit about her career. Remember, if you hear something that she like, if you hear something that she says that you really like, make sure to follow up with me and we can explore her career a little bit more. So, Miss Jenkins, hello. It's good morning right now, right?
Yes, good morning. Yes, definitely.
Good stuff. Well, I tell you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your career?
Well, again, my name is Ryan Jenkins, and I am in my 20th year of teaching. Started teaching in Charlotte Mecklenburg schools in 2004, I want to say. And eventually I transitioned in 2007 in Richland School District 2. I've always taught middle school up until last year, taught English. I've taught what is called ABIT, which is called a career and college preparedness course. And then this past year, I decided to transition into teaching high school just to do something different. And along with that, I'm also a published author. I'm a spoken word artist. So I go to different events where they have me read poetry, whether it's my own, basically my own that I perform and recite from either a book or something I wrote before. Been doing spoken word for almost 20 years now, but as far as the author role, as far as adding into my profession, it's been the last 2 years.
That is really exciting. Now, I'm going to ask you about your path to your career, and really, I want to hear about both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, thank you for the Winthrop shout out. Like,
Yes.
love seeing that shirt.
Today is College Colors Day, all every Wednesday. So yes, definitely.
Good stuff. So how did you get into education, and then how did you become an author?
Well, with education is really weird because I did not want to be an educator. I'm not going to sit here and lie. My
Mm.
mother's an educator. She suggested it to me. I'm like, no, I want to go into journalism. I want to be the next editor in chief of Essence. Got to Winthrop, spending time with kids, volunteering with AOE, the Associate Ebonites, where we went to the Boys and Girls Club and just fell in love with working with kids. So I switched my major. Things didn't go well. I'll admit, I'm not going to lie, where I didn't graduate with an education degree, but you have different states will offer what is called a lateral certification, where you can go through an alternate program to get your certification. So Charlotte Mech offered that to me because I was only like 3 credits away from getting my education degree. So I went up there, took some courses, passed the test, the practice test, and that's how I got certified to teach in Charlotte Mech. Came down to South Carolina, and just kept with it. And it's been something that, even though it's been a struggle at times, I love what I genuinely do. And when you see the impact of any career, teaching definitely is one of those careers that has a lifelong impact that everyone can trace back to one teacher who changed their life around.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Now, you hinted at this just now
Mm-hmm.
about the challenges in your career and things that you
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us a little bit more. What are some of the challenges that you find?
Definitely the challenges is you have in your mind how you think kids should be, and you have to keep in mind that's that particular child, and that child has to be able to be themselves, and you have to learn to teach to that child. Also, the challenges may also be is having parents involvement. You don't always have parent involvement. You don't always have parents who are willing to support you and making sure that child has the best effort. Another challenge may be you may not be grouped with the best staff members.
Mm.
So as a result, I would find myself in environments where at the end of the day, I had to remind myself why I was there. I truly believe that my career was God connected, where I did not leave the school just because I was mad. I stayed there in prayer and knowing, okay, this is where I need to be, and this is where I need to connect with this community and these kids. It's also challenging because it's time consuming. It's very time consuming. So from grading the papers or alerting parents to what's going on in your classroom, whether it's your kid, the kid's not doing well, or the kid is doing well, that is time consuming. So as a result, you find yourself, your mind is constantly on and having to learn how to turn that off so you can make sure you spend time for your family and other things outside in your life.
And those are a lot of things that honestly, uh, a lot of parents, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of students may not have even considered about education. So thank
Mm-hmm.
you for being so transparent. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but what makes it all worthwhile? What's the one thing you love the best about being an educator?
The best thing, again, like I said, like impact. I would definitely say, I will never forget. This is a really extreme story, but it really brings it back home. One of my students unfortunately had to serve some time, and I never forget he reached out to me And I immediately kicked the net because I knew he was getting out soon. I connected him to somebody else. So the fact that he was locked up and he thought about Miss Jenkins, granted, I had him in seventh grade and he was like his 19, he was 19, 20 years old. And I immediately connected him with someone who could help him transition and make better decisions. The fact that I'll have students who are now married and pregnant and will reach out to me and say, guess what? And um, I'll never forget the impact when you hear stories like that. And sometimes it's not years later, sometimes it's immediate. Like sometimes I'll get an email from a student, Ms. Jenkins, let me show you my grades. Stuff like that really, 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 really like takes me to another level and realizing that the impact is greater than we realize sometimes. Like even sometimes we don't think we impact the child because they didn't get it right the way we think it was while they were with us. Eventually, they come back and admit, I remember, like it never fails when I'm in my barbershop with my barber, and I'll run into a former student who will admit, even though they're 20, 19, 20, and I had them in seventh and eighth grade, oh, Miss Chigas, I remember when you said such and such. So it's very pivotal and very impactful.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So before we close out today, what advice do you have for our students who are seeking a career as an educator?
Well, definitely as a career as an educator, please make sure you remember your why. Why did you go into it? Is not the most, as much as I hope that changes by the time you decide to go in education, is even though it does not pay as much as I think they should, the rewards is the way we impact this world and how we change this world by working with these kids. So you have to remember why you got started and remember your purpose. And when you remember your purpose and your why, that keeps you going and keeps you in a career where other people do fall by the wayside and other people do leave because they find a career that pays more or they feel like they're not getting the accolades they need to get. When the reality is, when you remember your purpose and your why, that keeps you moving.
Awesome. Ms. Jenkins, thank you very much for spending this time
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank you.
Students, I hope you've picked up something great from this, and we'll see y'all next time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.